You know why you're being pulled over tonight? Hello? Do not talk?
Detaining me because I refuse to talk to answer your question.
Put your hands behind your back.
My father
Okay.
Okay.
Put your hands behind your back. Refuse to answer any questions. Anything you're saying is against you in the court of law. You have the right to...
What's going on, guys? Disorderly Product News. The woman in handcuffs right there is Philadelphia attorney Rebecca Musara. On October 16, 2015, she was arrested for obstruction after being pulled over for speeding in Warren County, New Jersey. Now, the reason she was arrested for obstruction is because she refused to answer questions that the officer posed to her during the traffic stop. Now, let me ask you this question, and tell me what you think in the comment sections. Do you believe you have more rights when you're free or when you're under arrest? Do you have more rights when you're free or when you're under arrest? I would say you'd have more rights when you're free than when you're under arrest. So if they read you your rights when you're under arrest, and one of them is you have the right to remain silent, surely you have that right when you're free. Anyways, let's watch the video, and at the end we'll break it down. But first things first, on the night of October 16th, 2015, Philadelphia attorney Rebecca Musara was pulled over for allegedly speeding by New Jersey state troopers. Rebecca says she was placed in a holding cell and then released without being charged. Watch to the end, guys, because then I'll break down the video and talk about what I think happened once she got to the station and why she was released. But first, roll the video.
While you're looking for that, do you know why you're being pulled over tonight? Hello? Ma'am. Hey. You know why you're being pulled over tonight? Do not talk? Okay, I'm going to ask you one more time. You know why you're being stopped tonight? Open the window. Open the window.
Roll the window down.
Why aren't you answering me? Okay, you're going to be placed under arrest if you don't answer my question. Now you can't hear me? Now you can talk? Why weren't you answering my questions? Yes. You know why you're being stopped tonight? Okay. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Over here.
Put your keys on top of it.
Put your keys on top of the car. Put your hands behind the back. Put your hands behind the back. Put your foot in.
Are you arresting me because
We're recording everything, so.
Are you detaining me because I refuse to talk to answer your
Put your
question?
hands behind your back. That's it.
My father
Okay.
Okay.
Put your hands behind your back. Let go of the phone.
Let go.
No, I cannot let go of it.
I'm putting your phone in your car. That's it.
Do not touch my phone.
Oh, God. Now you can talk. All you do is answer.
Why didn't you answer a question?
That's it. That's it.
Are you detaining me because I refuse to
I have one on
Are you detaining me because I refuse to speak?
Yeah.
Yeah, obstruction.
Okay. Do you have anything on here that's going to poke or stick me? Ma'am, do you have anything that's going to stick me?
Everything is a stick 'em or poke 'em. You can't talk.
Okay. Spread your feet. Where are you coming from tonight? Yeah, go ahead. We're right out here. Do not have to go this way.
You need to get out the car beside your
I
phone?
didn't exercise my rights, right?
All you do is answer the question.
Only to exercise my rights, right?
You have the right to remain silent. Refuse to answer any questions. Anything you're saying is against you in the court of law. You have the right to consult the attorney at any time and have him present before or during questioning. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided if you so desire prior to any questioning. The decision to waive these rights is not final, and you may withdraw from waiver whenever you wish, either before or during questioning. Understand these rights? Great.
barb them for sure.
On July 6, 2017, almost 2 years after the incident, state paid out $30,000 to settle a lawsuit filed by a lawyer who claimed she was arrested for not answering troopers' questions. Remember I asked you guys in the beginning, when do you have more rights, when you're arrested or when you're free? Well, it's obvious when you're free. But isn't it funny that when she was in the back of that police car, the officer read her Miranda rights, and he said, you have the right to remain silent. How is it she has more rights when she's in handcuffs in the back of a car than when she's free? How the officer didn't catch the irony of that is beyond me. Now, there was one main question in which he repeatedly asked her, which, above all else, was the reason she got arrested. And that was, do you know why we pulled you over tonight? Do you know why we stopped you? That is a guilt-seeking question. There's two types of questions. There's guilt-seeking questions and non-guilt-seeking questions. Asking somebody why they were pulled over is a guilt-seeking question.
You know why you're being pulled over tonight? Do not talk? Okay, I'm going to ask you one more time. You know why you're being stopped tonight? You know why you're being stopped tonight? Okay. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Answering that question inherently gives the impression that you are guilty. Is there a reason why you didn't use your turn signal back there? Well, if I answer the question, I'm admitting guilt. He's not asking me if I did or if I didn't. He's asking me, is there a reason I didn't use my turn signal back there? He's asking her, do you know why we're pulling you over tonight? Well, if you didn't do it, and you would have no idea why you're being pulled over. If you answer speeding, then it's obvious that you had an idea you might have been doing it. And the court looks at the police officer as an unbiased party. So if 10 seconds after you got pulled over, you think you might have been speeding, and the officer has no dog in this race, and he says you were speeding, guess who the court's going to go with? The worst thing she could have done for herself was answer that question, and she knew that. She's an attorney. Listen, you could beat the case, you can't beat the ride. There are no sidewalk judges. She knows this is not where this will play out. This plays out in a courtroom. She knows that. It's not her job to convince these police officers, because the more she gets to talking, they want her to think that she can try and convince them. But that's not really what they're after. They're after her admitting guilt, or at least making herself look as guilty as possible so they can present it to the judge. Lastly, they say she was put in a holding cell for some time and then released without charges. Why do I think that happened? Or why did that happen? Because either a superior officer caught it, or when you get arrested, there's always somebody from the state's attorney's office on duty 24 hours a day to take calls. So when you arrest somebody, or you're an officer and you arrest somebody, you call the state's attorney and you make sure these are the right charges you file. Because sometimes charges can be enhanced because of your background. There's a lot of different things with the law. So the police call the state's attorney, who's ever on call, and tell that person the elements of the case so the right charges can be filed. Well, I'm sure when the state's attorney, or even, it might not even have got there, the watch commander, the sergeant, heard why this person was arrested, they told those two, get her out of that cell immediately and let her go. The longer we have her, the more we're going to have to pay in a settlement. The question isn't whether we're going to get sued, it's for how much. So you better let her out of that cell right now. Like, they realized, you know, if the sergeant didn't realize and the watch commander didn't realize, when they called the state's attorney, she definitely realized, or he definitely realized. So that's why they released her without charges, because the whole thing was ridiculous. I mean, you charged her because she wouldn't talk, and then you read her rights that says she has the right to remain silent. Oh my. So there you go, guys. That was one insane, crazy case. I mean, I just don't understand how some of these people are on the street with such a limited understanding of such basic principles. My name's Disorderly Product News. Those are decals in which you can buy. The link will be in the description. They're $4 a piece, or you could buy the whole collection. And I'm on number 4. That's the number 2 right there. Don't worry, I am essential too. So all the profits for those will go to my legal fund, because Disorderly Product News has ruffled a couple of feathers. Anyways, and we'll talk about that once it's over. Just can't talk about it right now. My name is Disorderly Product News, wishing you and yours a very safe and happy work week. Good night.